Welcome back to the Optimize You podcast, the place where we're helping you optimize looking and feeling your best. If you enjoy the show, be sure to share it with a friend, like, and subscribe. And let's get into today's podcast. All right. So I just got back, literally flew back in from the airport about an hour ago. I just got home, went and traveled to Tennessee with the family. So I wanted to quickly hop on here while it was fresh in my mind and share some of my personal best practices that I use when I travel. Some things that help me stay on track, some things that help me not only continue to keep progress, but also like we like to use the terminology of keeping the guardrails on, right? It's not about being perfect when you travel. It's not about being perfect at any part in your journey. But when you travel, first and foremost, you want to be able to enjoy it. So I wanted to hop on here. It's fresh in my mind. And I'm actually heading back out tomorrow as well. So literally just got back from Tennessee, flew back into Portland, flying back out to LA through the rest of the weekend. So a lot of travel here. But I wanted to share some wins that I use and I implement consistently when I travel so that you guys can use them to your advantage, and hopefully you can find success when you travel as well to help keep your habits in place. That when you get taken out of your normal routine, here's some things that'll help you. Okay. So the first one is anytime I'm looking for Airbnb or a hotel, I make sure that they have a gym. That's a priority for me, right? And so if you want to drop into a gym or you have your own, if you don't really have trouble with that, totally fine. But what I like to do is I will prioritize where I stay based on the whether they have a gym or not. If they don't, and what I mean is they need to at least have a set of dumbbells. Some of these quote unquote gyms, they have like just cardio equipment. So they have like an elliptical and maybe 2 treadmills. I'm not going to stay there, right? They have to have some sort of way of to resistance train, to build some strength, to maintain some strength, right? So that's first and foremost. Make sure that I am booking a hotel that has at least bare minimum a set of dumbbells. I also bring my travel bands too. So worst case scenario, because I've been in hotels where it says that they have dumbbells, they don't, or they're doing construction on the gym and then you're screwed, like, oh, I can't do anything. So I do bring a set of resistance bands for worst case scenarios, body weight. You could do some great workouts. But for me, I want to stay at a place that has something that I can resistance train, that's going to have some weights. So that's first and foremost. That's how I book my travel around that, right? That's a priority for me. And I get my movement in first thing in the morning. So this last trip, I went with my family. I didn't want to be the person that was slowing down the group or, hey, everybody hold up for me because I need to go work out. No, I'm getting up an hour before anybody is even thinking about getting up, and I'm getting my workout in. I'm ready for breakfast. I'm ready for coffee. I'm ready for all that stuff. By the time they're even up, I beat them to breakfast, right? So that's what I'd highly recommend is another great practice is getting your workout in or your movement before everybody else gets up. Establish this the night before. Hey, what time's everybody getting up? And once you establish that, you can be extremely successful by getting up before everybody. And my family's great because they actually get up either with me or shortly after, and they go work out as well. So it's this thing that we all do no matter what, but I understand not everybody's family is going to do that. And you may be kind of like the black sheep for a while. And hopefully you inspire others through your process and your journey, and others, especially those closest to your family, they catch on and they start to join you. But it's one of those situations you can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink, right? So if they're not on that page yet, hopefully they do soon, but you can't really force them. So you need to take care of you first, right? You need to prioritize you, get your movement in first. And I'm a huge fan of that. I'm just very fortunate that my family also takes movement and prioritizes it in their lives as well. So that my family does it as well. But I was beating them. I was either at the gym the same time in the morning as them or a good 15, 20, 30 minutes before them. And they came in and got their movement in as well, right? So it's a family ordeal. But if your family isn't like that, then you need to prioritize it before they get up, and you need to prioritize you, and don't forget about you in the process. That's what I'd highly recommend. And that's how it starts out. And then those that get inspired, you'll see they actually come and join you, which is pretty cool. So that's first and foremost, is prioritizing a place where I can get some resistance training in, some strength training. I can deviate from my routine as little as possible. Then from there, we had breakfast. We had breakfast at the hotel. We'd like to search for hotels that have breakfast. Of course, those are going to be very challenging, but making sure that an easy way to do it when you get out of your normal routine is to focus on prioritizing protein first in your meals. If you can do that, it's going to help you avoid eating a lot of the crazy meals later in the day, right? That are going to be super high in carbohydrate and fat. So prioritizing protein. And in this case, it was post-workout for me. So they actually had oats, just regular plain oats. I mixed a little bit of honey in there to sweeten it up. So I got my carbohydrates and my protein as well. So the thing that I wanted to share with you guys is bringing protein with me on my trip can be a difficult task, right? If you ever done that, I brought it in Ziploc bags before, like super challenging, right? I have it's actually called, I was given this, it's a baby formula dispenser. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Okay. So like literally I have 1, 2, 3, 4 servings of protein in here that are pre-measured that I can use for a scoop. And then the top piece is actually a funnel. So I can pour that into my shaker cup, into a water bottle, whatever. This is a game changer. So being able to bring your own protein with you on the plane, on your carry-on, in your luggage, like is super cool. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Absolutely. So that's a game changer. Again, it's on Amazon. It's less than $10. A baby formula dispenser is what it's called. And that will absolutely help you bring your protein with you, right? So you don't have to rely on every single place that you go, because a lot of places are not going to have protein options. Most will, some don't. And a lot of times getting just a protein source that is primarily just that is very difficult as well, depending on where you go, right? Depending on where you guys are traveling. This weekend actually was really simple. I was able to get some really good options. They had a restaurant called, was it True Food Kitchen? True Food Kitchen, I believe is what it is. I think they're a chain. I've never been to one. This was my first time, but they had super clean, healthy options there. So that was great. We ate there multiple times, and it took a lot of the guesswork away as well. So that was great. But most of the time, what I'm doing when I'm traveling is using my caloric budget, using very roughly, trying to hit a caloric target, making sure I prioritize protein, and that's it. It's very a loose approach. And I don't have everything to weigh and track and measure and be super accurate. You're just being mindful in those situations, right? So that would be my next tip is use more of your gut and your intuition. Eat till you're satisfied. Prioritize protein. Don't overindulge. Still allow yourself some things to enjoy yourself, of course, but don't eat yourself till you're sick, right? Because then you're going to feel like crap. The rest of the trip is going to be ruined, and it's going to be no fun. And the last thing is, on top of movement, in addition to resistance training, is steps, is walking. A lot of times people forget that when you go to the airport, I mean, just in when I jumped onto the flight that morning, we had a super early flight. By the time I got onto the airplane, I was already at 5,000 steps, right? So I think a lot of us forget that, the airport is a place where you can have a huge opportunity to get a bunch of steps in. Plus, yes, we had a rental car, but we walked all downtown Nashville, all over the place. I was easily clearing 10,000 steps a day without even trying. So that's always a great indicator as well, that you're getting your energy and keeping your energy expenditure up, so that when you do have some of those tasty foods, when you kind of overindulge and you travel, and we did have that. We had some Snickers, we had some ice cream, we tried some cool restaurants. You're going to have those things, right? And it's okay if you do go over. The goal is to enjoy yourself while you're traveling, especially on vacation, right? So, but to help mitigate that, you want to make sure your energy expenditure stays pretty high. And usually by default, most of the time, you'd be surprised how many steps you can actually get when you travel, just by going and enjoying yourselves, and, going and doing outdoor things. Or in this case, we went to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and we're walking downtown Nashville. That was easy, a 13,000 step day, no problem. So I think a lot of people forget that, hey, by default, usually when you're going and doing things when you travel, you're going to get a lot of steps in. So those are just some couple quick practices. I got to pack. I got to get ready here and fly back out to LA this weekend, but just wanted to come on here and share some quick tips with you. Remember, you guys, it's a baby formula dispenser. This thing has been a game changer. Again, use it. They're less than $10, a scoop of protein, pre-measured. You can take it with you on your carry-on. Anytime you're in a pinch and you feel like you haven't got enough protein for yourself, or the meals that you find yourself constantly eating are very carb and fatty dense and sugary and highly processed, and you need to mix in some protein, bring your own protein. And you can have that right after your workout. You can have it in the middle of the day when you're having a craving, anything like that. And it really, really helps you be intentional, be in control. And guess what? I'm going to refill these back up, take them with me to LA, and do exactly what I just did. So hopefully those tips were able to help you guys. I know we have a whole separate travel video where we dive in a little bit deeper, but these are just some best practices, quick tips that I was just able to use and I wanted to share with you guys. If that was super helpful for you guys, or even one of those tips was helpful, all that we ask is you share it with somebody that you know, like, and love, and feel like could benefit from it, because we're always talking about how to feel good, look good, and optimize each and every single aspect of your life. So we will see you guys on the next one. Again, thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking, and we'll catch you on the next episode.